Never enough time. Ah, yes, perfect. Then I was correct. Good. Okay, let me just get my stuff all set up here. Right, so last time we were in the Bastard City, and we talked to... I was going to say we talked to Tannum, but that's not right. We talked to Tunon. And now we're at Lethian's Crossing with two purposes. One is to try to find information, I think, on which of the Archons is the traitor. And one is to take a look at this creepy spire thing. That's right, and we walked around the whole exterior of the map last time. But we have a bunch of interior cells to check out. Like this one. Unless we already did it. I feel like I didn't check any interior cells last time, though. Right, and we have Sharon, Barrick, Violin, and Verse. There's a dog. Welcome to Lethian's mistress, my lady. Oh, welcome to Lethian's mistress, my lady. Please enjoy something. What? Mistress Sophia. What a pleasure it is to see you in my establishment, Fatebinder. It is always an honor to entertain someone of your standing at Lethian's mistress. If you have need of entertainment or company for a short time, then we look forward to fulfilling those needs. How may I and my entertainers be of service to you? Do you have food and drink? We have plenty to eat and drink if your desires include those of a less carnal nature. You know, if you worked in a brothel, I think you just say, I work in a brothel. You don't have to be all like subtle and innuendo about it. Are you here to partake of the food, or are your appetites more carnal in nature? It's like, look, I just want to eat, drink, and screw. Can we get rid of the pleasantries here? Let me see what food and drink you have for sale. Cheese, fish, fruit, grain, raw meat, water, camping supplies. I don't think I need any of that right now. Hang on, not done talking to you yet. Welcome back. Thank you again for gracing us with your presence. Tell me more about your establishment. Yeah, exactly. How many suggestions? It just gradually gets less and less subtle, you know? Like, well, we have women and men here who could be your companions for the evening. Like, if you don't feel like masturbating later, someone can take care of that for you. Lethian's mistress started as a safe place for people to come to drink in secret, but eventually it evolved into a gathering place where drinking and... Her eyes twinkle as she considers her... See, why is she doing this? Well, we're in a town called Lethian's Crossing. I'm not sure that it's a city exactly. Yeah, I suppose it's a city. No, we left the Bastard City already. Where drinking and something. It evolved into a gathering place where drinking and fornication... There we go! Just come out and say it. We're both common activities. Everyone needs a way to relax, and I provide one for them. What brings you here? I was one of Lethian's mistresses, of course, and where Lethian went, so did I. She was very adventurous. Oh, Lethian was a woman. I didn't know this. She was very adventurous and not really the type to settle down. I may not have gotten all of her attention, but I did end up with a nice business, and I've been very comfortable. And if I had to share her with various men and women around town, I was willing to be generous with her time. Well, okay. No worries, Walter. We actually left... excuse me. Left the Bastard City at the end of the last stream and basically got to Lethian's Crossing, walked around, and then quit the stream. How much do you charge? The price for all of my entertainers is 100 rings for the night. If you would like specifics, please speak to the one you'd like to hire, and they can tell you about themselves and what they're particularly good at. She smiles. But each one of my beauties will give you your ring's worth, I guarantee. Gallum, Lorid, Timo, Zadaka. Let me ask you something else. Perhaps another time. Let's talk to the... Is it all ladies? Oh, no men, huh? I was gonna say let's talk to the merchandise, but I think it's all chicks. Well, I guess she kind of has to be if they don't have a brothel with men. The young woman smiles, Zadaka does, her eyes widening with innocence. Welcome to Lethian's Crossing. Lethian's mistress, Fatebinder, she says, blushing lightly. My name is Zadaka. She giggles. Are you here to teach me the ways of the world? Tell me about yourself. Zadaka's face blushes bright red as she turns her head, covering her mouth with her hand. Me? She asks quietly, her voice shy. Why do you want to know about me? I'm a simple girl. I know nothing of this world or my place in it. She looks into your eyes. Are you here to teach me? Jesus Christ. Her love for spears is symbolic. I don't like this whole, like, are you here to teach me thing? What can you offer the others can't? If you would spend time with me, I will play Novice Sage in the Burning Library. She steps closer, her breasts pushing lightly against you. We need to know where her breasts are at all times. I'm lost in here, Fatebinder. If I don't behave, I will be punished. Oh. Do I need to be punished? I thought she was asking for help. Like, get me out of here. They're cruel to me. Instead, it's just like it's a sexy thing. Yeah. Probably right, Walter. I will return, perhaps. I don't know. I don't like her whole, oh, I'm so innocent thing. Because clearly she's not. She's working in a whorehouse. Timo. She says, good day to you, traveler. My name is Timo. The dancer greets you while slowly gyrating her hips suggestively at your approach. She doesn't even miss a beat. She can have entire conversations while gyrating suggestively. Her eyes flash brightly and she smiles, moving her hands in a welcoming gesture. Are you in need of a companion? What about you, Timo? Tell me about yourself. Timo dips her head demurely and looks at you coyly. The past has no interest for me. She speaks in a calming, dulcet tone. I like to think about here. She points to a spot between her breasts and slowly traces her finger down the front of her body. Now. Okay. Can you offer the others can't? Timo's mouth widens into a smile and she puts a hand demurely to her lips. Everything's demure with her. She leans forward, motioning with her other hand for you to move in closer. I will perform the oath breaker for you. She whispers the words, the heat of her breath caressing your ear. I could make a sage give up his books if I wanted. Talk to you later, baby. Anybody else want to get in on this action? Lorid. Oh, Lorid is a dude. All right. They just looked, I think this might be a dude too. They just look very busty. But, yeah, Lorid's a dude. Awesome. Okay, great. Welcome to Lethian's mistress. The large man flexes his enormous biceps, his charcoal skin glistening in the light. What can Lorid do for you? Do you need company today? Tell me about yourself. My life story? Sorry to say that's short and boring. I had a happy childhood. Nothing bad ever happened. I grew up to be big and strong and never had any health issues. Okay. I approached Mistress Sophia about a job because I like what and who I get to do here. What can you offer that the others can't? Everything and more. Lord lets out a hearty laugh. But my specialty is the Vendrian swell. That's good. Walter, there's some puns in here worthy of your attention. Let your imagination run wild. It's even better than that. I like this guy. I like it. He's got a good pitch. Gallum? Good evening. The tall, thin man smiles at your approach. And welcome to Lethian's mistress. My name is Gallum, and it would do me no end of pleasure to serve you today. I don't like this guy. He's too pretty. Tell me about yourself. How did you end up here? Scribbles in a notebook. There's not much to say, really. Gallum muses quietly for a moment. I'm from the north and was traveling with a performing troupe when we were beset by bandits near Lethian's Crossing. I was injured and lost consciousness, and when I came to, Mistress Sophia was nursing my wounds. The rest of the troupe died in the fight, and I had nowhere to go. So the mistress offered me a position. Uh-huh. Offered you a position, huh? Yeah, that's right, revamp. Gosh, she was so weird, Miranda. She knew my performing skills would come in handy. It's the best job I've ever had. What can you offer that the others can't? If you want the ground to move and feel the walls tumbling down, I'm the man for you. I will give you the Earthshaker's delight, and trust me, you will never want to hire another performer again. Maybe later. I think I'd go for... I think Violin would go for Laurid, but this lady looks like a nice bottle of wine. Oh, I thought maybe she'd have something to say because she's standing close to the... She likes to stand close to the fire. Ah, all right. What the heck? You know what? There's four people here, and there's 4 of us. We could all get our rocks off. Welcome back, Fatebinder. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. I will go with Laurid, please. Of course, Fatebinder. That will be 100 ring. Oh, wait, shit. I don't know if I have enough money. I'll have a room prepared for you and the entertainer. Is that... Yeah, I guess I do, because I can say yes. 100 copper. Okay. Enjoy yourself, Fatebinder. I think you'll be quite satisfied with my beauties. That's the sound of lovemaking? Ting, 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 ting. Sounds like blacksmithing to me. Ooh, check it out. Vengeance spell. Ah, all right. 2 resolve, 2 control life until next rest. Very nice. It looks like nobody else got it. So it was just me and Laurid. We didn't have a 3-some or 4-some or 5-some or 6-some. Somebody's having a good goddamn time. Okay. That's cool. Alright, I like that. The Tin Man fetish coming on strong. Good smashing, yep. You gotta take what you can get. Kind of a slow loading screen for what amounts to a 2D image, basically. Alright, so what else? What else is there? Locations. Melita, I talked to her, I think. Old Walls entrance. Don't want to go there just yet. Siren Sanctuary. Eldian's house. The Forge. Did I talk to Melita? I think I did. Oh, she was up there. Yes, I talked to her up there. Okay. Let's go to... What's the first one that's here? Siren? Siren Sanctuary. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, if it was like backed up against a mesa or something. Oh, and kind of like the Pueblo-style homes. Okay, what do we got here? What is this place? Siren. She's teaching a class or something? All these other people are settlers. They're probably not going to have anything. It's a fine day, as long as you don't think about the armies beyond the horizon or the Bane lurking within the old walls. Looks like the only person that would be somebody to talk to will be Siren. If that's how you pronounce her name. Siren something. But, okay. Go around the long way, I guess. Gets his mail on the back of a donkey. Wow. The Forge Bound won't sell anything to us, settlers. Okay, let's talk to her. Siren. A young woman stands here, surrounded by a group of villagers. She speaks to them in soft, dulcet tones, holding them hypnotized with her hand motions. She wears an ornate headdress that surrounds her face, its forehead inset with an enormous red gem. The headdress flashes as she speaks, and you are unable to tell if it's a trick of the light or the gem in it is actually glowing. Or is it a trick of the light? That's one of the narrator lines in Darkest Dungeon, I think, right? She is swept up in her oration and seems completely unaware you've arrived. It takes a few minutes before you realize she was also in the Scarlet Chorus camp at Vendrian's Well. I do not know that I remember that, but okay. She opens her eyes and looks at you over the heads of the people gathered before her.
Greetings, worm.
Hey! Her voice takes you off guard. It is bare of any inflection and yet full of beautiful music. Really? Okay. If you didn't know better, you would guess that she is actively suppressing or modulating her vocal tone. Ooh, is she a Bene Gesserit? That'd be cool. Siren is the Archon of Song. Holy shit, she's an Archon. And the youngest Archon sent to conquer the Tears. Young and inexperienced, Siren, I don't know, was sworn to the voices of Nerat, who uses her powers of charm and manipulation to swell the ranks of the Scarlet Chorus with volunteers. You look familiar.
You don't know me, little worm? I am Siren.
Siren.
And my allies have the pleasure of calling me the Archon of Song.
You hear the distant peal of a bell in her laugh. She stops and regards you for a moment before continuing.
To what do I owe this incredible honor, Fatebinder? Is Tunon throwing another one of his tantrums? Threatening everyone if they don't find me?
Dang, she's not afraid of Tunon.
I'd say it's annoying, but don't you think it's kind of flattering to have everyone wanting me so desperately? Kairos, the voices of Nerat, Tunon, you?
She winks? Oh ho ho ho! Maybe violin swings both ways. What are you suggesting?
Never mind. I'm just feeling a little paranoid. Past guardians have shown themselves to be a little more interested in me than entirely necessary. But now to a more important matter.
Usually, yes, but apparently she's a newbie. Her mouth opens in a perfect O shape, and the sound that pours out is captivating. Oh, she's singing. Okay, good. I thought she's gonna, like, make some crude gesture. The sound that pours out is captivating, entrancing. It dampens the ambient bustle of the hall until it seems that nothing exists but her voice. From the corner, that's her singing pose right there. From the corner of your eye, you see Verse cup her hands to her ears, turning her head away from Siren.
Remove my helmet.
The ruby headpiece on her brow flashes as if in warning. What are you trying to do to me? My lore will allow me to ask this, so yeah, what the hell?
Really? Nothing at all? What a disappointment. Not to mention a colossal waste of effort on my part. Probably spreading myself too thin trying to keep them all under my thrall.
Ah, I'm thinking that she sings and then people do her bidding. So she expected me to just lift her helmet off. She indicates the people surrounding her.
I hoped you would assist me in a delicate matter, but it appears you're no use to me at all.
Hey.
Keeping up the act can be a bit tiring at times. I've been the songbird for so long, I've forgotten how to be anything else.
Perhaps I can help you. Come with me. Someone with your power could use some help directing it. Oh, she can be a follower? Companion? Stop the emotional manipulation now. Now. You're coming with me so I can keep an eye on you, or I'll come back later. I mean, we haven't really seen a demonstration of her power. It didn't work on us. I guess these people are listening to her, but you would think that that would be the case if somebody was singing in a house. People would sit and listen. I don't know. It doesn't seem that impressive. Stop the emotion. Yeah, let's... Well, no, this is the more diplomatic thing, and we're a diplomat. Come with me. Someone with your power could use some help directing it.
Why on earth would you want that? I can't imagine you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. Oh. Tunon must have had a hand in this. Or Nerat. Maybe I'd rather stay here where people won't insist on ordering me around all the time. Although, you did activate one of the spires.
Ah,
so
word gets around.
Is something I could learn from, and you are right. I'm certainly not going to make any significant advances staying here with a bunch of nobodies worshipping me. Watching you in action could give me the edge I need to unlock a spire of my own.
Hey, that's my thing.
Fine. I will allow you the glorious gift of my presence in your party.
Okay. Come with me, Siren.
Well then, let's go. If you're gonna teach me the wonders of the world, it's not gonna happen here.
I don't get a chance to look at what she does. Crap. I have come across another follower. I don't know what she is, though. She sings. I presume she does something of a magical nature. But I don't want to place Sharon yet. Dump the tomboy? That would be Sharon, right? Oh, verse? Verse? I can't jump verse. Verse is awesome.
Homeward. See you there.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. We'll go without Ebb for a little bit. Okay, so what do you do, verse? Not verse. What do you do, Siren? Discordant melody plus 15 performance skill. Support character. Okay. Did it say that? I didn't even see that. Bows. So she's good with magic staves. Dodge, lore, performance, subterfuge. Oh, in the chair. Okay, I was going to say, did I miss something? Thank you. I appreciate the wiki help, Tandem. Take with you if your party is in need of buffing or debuffing support. You enjoy dialogue with someone who is fighting to retain some sense of morality in a world where evil won. You want to learn more about what it means to be an Archon. I do want to learn more about what it means to be an Archon, that's for sure. So yeah, she'll be useful. But holy shit, 5 points. Okay. Put 2 there. 1 there. 1 there. And 1 there. Five talent points. Okay, so she's got songs, peace, and war. She already has all 3 of these and this one. Let's take that. Non-threatening appearance causes foes to underestimate her, granting her a large bonus to disengagement defense. Aria increases the effectiveness of the party's armor and causes foes that strike allies in melee to have their attack damage reduced for a time. Slows her vocal progressions, reducing the speed of her songs and causing her stanzas to last longer. Oh, so she's like a bard, essentially. She complements the helmed companions theme. She seems like a bard. She sings songs and those provide you buffs. Or perhaps debuff the enemy. Okay, got it. Aria of Dissonance I like. Fractures the armor of her foes. Enemies in the area cannot defend against Siren's voice and have their armor sundered. Hence her name, Siren, meaning like siren, like you can't resist her song. Maintains a damage prevention field around herself. Any damage, even if prevented by a resonant field, will briefly stop this field from regenerating. Okay, and these are level specific. Bringer of Death. A song ominously describing the power of Kairos' will as it washes over life and land, reaping those that stand against it. -6 resolve, -10 dodge, -10 parry. So it looks like this is different verses, or different stanzas. Okay, so the longer that the effect is active, I'm assuming 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, you get these other benefits. Movement speed, armor, bleeding, might, wits, vitality. So those ones I need it to be a higher level, so I can pick something else. Inspiration, increasing experience gained from magic and subterfuge skills. Grants Siren additional spell slots. When combat begins, Siren reflexively cries out, protecting her and her nearby allies by significantly increasing endurance. Ooh. Siren sings notes that seep into the minds of her allies and draw them to lucidity. Removes a hostile effect. Control her voice over long distances. Increases the range of Siren's defensive songs. Retain breath for several minutes. What the hell's breath? I don't know what that is. Trying to hammer the nail between her name and her title of Archon of Song. Yeah. When I played Pathfinder Kingmaker, the Bard character in that game kind of becomes like one of your main companions. So I basically took her everywhere, and by the end of the game, I didn't want to leave her behind because her songs were really useful buffs. It's awesome. As a ranged character, she wasn't doing that much damage, but her buffs were incredible. So yeah, I used her a lot. They actually did a really good job making use of the Bard character in that game, by the way. Yeah, like the Jester. Lindsay, I know. Lindsay's great. I loved Lindsay. Spoiler alert for those who haven't played the game, but at the end of the game where you don't get to use Lindsay anymore, I was like, fuck, because most of my party composition was based on having the Bard and like her providing a bunch of buffs. So without her, I was kind of screwed there at the end game. Yeah, the Jester. Man, I kind of missed Darkest Dungeon a little bit. I know if I went back and played it a couple times, I'd be probably tired of it again, but absence makes the heart grow fonder. All right, let's not fuck around anymore here. I need to spend a third point in... Oh, baby spider. Hang on. Die, baby spider. Darkest Dungeon 2! Oh my gosh. All I care about is if they bring back the narrator. Which I don't know how they'll do because he ends up being the bad guy, but... Pillars of Eternity bards are also super cool. Ah. Okay. So which one of these two would I want? Because I want to get one or two of these these level 3 ones. Disengagement defense doesn't sound that useful, but maybe I'm not understanding it. Hang on. Plus 50 defense when disengaging. I try not to disengage that often. Okay, let's take that one. And then... I was thinking defensive cry and maybe that was it. Maybe just defensive cry. And then something over here, maybe. That one. That's good. That's good. We spent enough time on this freaking thing. All right. What kind of spells can she cast? Oh, God, we gotta pick spells. Okay, so she's gonna be the buff type, right? Her lore skill's only 40? Baldur's Gate Garrick has a deserved reputation for being most useless companion. Oh, you know what? I've seen Errata's Lord of the Dead. I didn't know what it was about. That's interesting. I'm surprised that her lore skill is so low. She's a bard, I know. She's not a mage, but it's weird that Verse and Barrick have higher lore skills than her. That seems crazy to me, but alright. Yeah, see, that is too much. That's too much. Son of a bitch. That's too much. Okay. Put that there. Now, damn it. I like that the spell system is so craftable. I kind of wish that it wasn't so hard to assign spells and then I don't know. The menu's not quite as clear as I would like. False Pit. You can cast that, can't you? I kind of like False Pit. Unravel Minds. Well, let's do False Pit too. Can we use one of these? No, not that one. Can we use that one? Yes. Can we use that one? No. Okay, that's good. Fine. That's fine. So much time spent. Okay, so when we...
Easy as can be.
When we line up, where are you, Siren? You're back in the mage role. Okay, fine. Bard Companion and Baldur's Gate are the absolute worst. Combination was entirely useless. Ski or Sky? I'm thinking of Silky, but she's not the person that you're talking about. I don't think, right? Yeah, that sucks that bards in Baldur's Gate aren't that useful, because I don't know. I mean, granted, again, my experience is limited to Pathfinder, but bards were awesome in that game. Eldion, or Eldion, I think it is. The sunburnt man dips his head in greeting. An outsider never arrives alone. At least that is what my mother always said. Seems she knew what she was talking about. He nods thoughtfully at his own words. I am Eldion. Welcome to probably Lithian. If this is Eldion, it's Lithian. Lithian's Crossing. Well, if it isn't Tunan's Fatebinder, he says. Welcome back to the crossing. Back? Haven't seen you around here since you put the disfavored in charge of everything. Oh, right, I did do that, yeah. Eldion looks you over. Must say my memory seems to be failing, something I never thought I'd say. He winks. The way people talk about how you came through and drove the Brotherhood out of town, you should be 10 feet tall and shooting lightning from your eyes. I seem to remember you being a little more human. Can't always tell the content of a pie from its crust, though, can you? Thankfully, the disfavored haven't been too bad. At least you didn't choose the Scarlet Chorus to be our overlords. Hear that verse? But enough of my prattling, he says. You didn't come here for a history lesson or to get my opinion of your grandeur. He waves his hand dismissively at his previous comments. I see that you've collected the Archon of Song. He bows slightly to Siren. Taking her with you, yes? Nobody's collected me, old man, says Siren very proudly. Siren scowls down her nose at Eldion. I am only too happy to see the last of your feted backwater trading post. Of course, Mistress Archon. Eldion scratches the back of his head. We always treasure your presence here at the crossing. He coughs and turns his attention to you. What can this old fool do for you? I guess I have questions. If you have questions about our settlement, I am the one to ask. I have the dubious distinction of being the oldest living resident of Lethian's Crossing, so I've been here for a lot of its history. Eldion smiles. Eyes, hips, hair, and hearing might be failing, but my mind still remembers everything that happened here. Hips, eh? Spent too much time over at Lethian's mistress. What would you like to know about? I'll do my best not to go on too long about it. I know I have a problem keeping my conversation short. Let me just catch up here on the chat. Eldath Kron is the character that Walter was thinking about. Gosh. Yeah, I haven't played enough D&D to be savvy to all the class and stat talk. I usually have to think very, very carefully about how I level up and what I'm going to play and how I'm going to play it and what that character can do. Let's hear the crossing's history. If you have questions about the goings-on in the crossing, I'm the one to ask. I've been here for more of its history than anyone else. He smiles. What would you like to know? Who was Lethian? Lethian. The biggest pain in the ass I ever knew. Oh, he's asking a question. He turns bright red, blushing at his words, then lets out a huge guffaw. Suppose I shouldn't talk about my mother like that. She was a mediocre merchant, but a great leader. The war in the northern kingdoms cost her a very lucrative trade route up north, but she managed to earn trade stewardships from Kairos, and for a short time she had a monopoly on grain, salt, and tin here in the tiers. What did my grandmother say? Give a blind man time and a pile of rocks, and eventually he'll hit a target. He shrugs. Not to say she didn't deserve it, but I think luck played a bigger part in her success than actual talent. Okay, so this is the stop clock is right twice a day equivalent. I always imagined so, Tannum, but the only people that I ever hear talk about it in any length are people who know what the fuck they're talking about, so I always just kind of feel like, okay, I'm not one of those people. I should just keep my mouth shut. But Kairos gives and Kairos takes. The next year, Lethian was stripped of her trade rights. Suddenly she had a large staff, but no goods to trade and no means to pay anyone. But she was a stubborn one and knew if she just kept at it, eventually things would turn around for her. She figured the trade goods could come to us. The location was good enough. It's crazy how that would happen. Oh, yeah, no worries. No worries, Revamp. She decided to concentrate on making an existing local settlement into the center of commerce for the tiers, and by the claws of a beast, she did just that. I thought she was crazy choosing a town nestled up to the old walls, but apparently she knew what she was doing. It wasn't long after that it was named Lethian's Crossing. With the bridges over the old walls, this was the only place to go if you wanted to take weeks off of your trip. Eventually she hired the Bronze Brotherhood to act as our local guards. We were big enough and had enough commerce to warrant the protection. That's not a bad idea for creation of a town. Take the time to build bridges over the old walls, and if the walls really do go on for insane distances, be like building a ferry over a river and then waiting for the traffic to come to you. Just build a town there and take advantage of the traffic. Supposedly that's why the town of Minneapolis exists. Not for a ferry, but St. Anthony Falls on the Mississippi. It's not like a huge dramatic waterfall like Niagara or anything like that, but it is a fall that requires anybody coming upstream on a boat to get out and portage around the falls, right? So you have to carry your goddamn boat. Not these days because they have locks and stuff, but back in the day of exploration and stuff like that, there was no way around the falls. You had to literally get out of the river, carry your gear and your boat up around the falls, and then get back in. And so originally, like, a few businesses opened up right there because people were constantly getting out and having to walk around. It was a good place to stop and spend the night and get a drink and get some more food and stuff like that. And so the city of Minneapolis built up around the falls because that's where people had to stop their travel on the river. I don't know. Kind of a cool little history thing. I remember ever since I took archaeology and anthropology classes in college, I'm always kind of interested in the reasons why cities end up where they do. And it almost always has to do with sources of fresh water, and then either like farmland or defensibility or trade, something like that. There's always something. It's always fresh water and some other thing that makes it an attractive site. Eventually she hired the Bronze Brotherhood. Okay, we read that. Lethian was your mother, eh? Of course. How did you think I became the Reeve of the Crossing? Certainly not my storytelling or charm. I may be the oldest living resident here, but that's certainly not a good enough reason to make someone a leader. Though, come to think of it, neither is just being the offspring of the former leader, he laughs. But like it or not, that's how things are. My mother was a wonderful woman. She might not have been the nicest person. She might have been overfond of a dalliance here or there. Or there. Okay, that's good. I like that. But who isn't? His face sobers. May her rest be ever free of disturbance. Rest in peace. How did you build the old wall's bridges? Lethian was the mastermind of that. She could tie a knot with one hand, one string. I remember watching her draw systems of ropes and knots in the sand, telling me what they would do when built. I thought she was crazy. Says she got the idea from the bridges from seeing galleys pulled out of the water into the dock. Apparently the hardest part was getting the initial climbing team to brave the old walls and to set the first ties. But apparently you can pay a man enough rings for him to overcome his fear of old walls predators. Okay, this is apropos of nothing. This is not related at all to what he's talking about. But when he said, like, oh, where did she get the inspiration? He started to describe where she got the inspiration for the bridges over the old walls. My first thought was that he was going to say it was in a dream. Of course, he didn't say that. But then that reminded me of a dream I had the other night. The dream itself was very simple. But after I woke up from the dream, because it was kind of scary, I then, as I was awake and laying in bed, I was thinking about the dream more, and it gave me, I actually started to come up with details about how the dream could work, and I thought, heck, that'd be kind of interesting. So I'm just going to tell you about the dream really quick. Are academic anthropology writers just as incapable of writing coherently as historic? Probably, yeah. In my dream, I was on a camping trip, and on the camping trip with me, amongst a bunch of other people, like my mom was there, and like some of my Boy Scout friends and stuff were there, and then there was also another person there who wasn't staying with us. He was staying a little bit further away, like in this kind of rundown shack. It was freaking Tom Hardy, the actor, Tom Hardy, looking like he looks in Peaky Blinders with the kind of scraggly beard and the big wide brim hat. And I was like, why the fuck is Tom Hardy here? And he was like, oh, it was at nighttime, so it was kind of weird that this dude's just sitting by this shack while we're all, sitting around the campfire telling stories and stuff. So we go over to talk to him, and he's like, oh, he had a crossbow. We're like, what's the crossbow for? He's like, I shoot bats. We're like, what? He's like, yeah, I shoot bats out of the air with it. I was like, okay, that's fucked up. What the hell's wrong with you, dude? So then later on that night, I don't know if I had was walking back to my tent from someplace or what, but the moon was out. It was a beautiful night. I was walking along the trail, and then all of a sudden, in front of me, like 100 yards, maybe 50 yards away or whatever, a wolf appeared. And I was like, oh shit, a fucking wolf. And it started running towards me. And I was like, oh my God. And in my dream, I panicked. I was like, oh my God. So I turned around and started running away. And I could hear the wolf coming up from behind. I was like, oh God, it's going to catch me. And then right then, that's when I woke up. But as I was laying in bed afterwards, I was thinking like, hey, wait a minute. I think Tom Hardy was a vampire hunter. And I think he was the wolf. I think he was like a werewolf vampire hunter. Because he said like, oh, I shoot bats with my crossbow. I think he was killing vampires. And I think when I was walking down the path, there must have been like a vampire behind me. And he showed up as the wolf to like attack the vampire. I don't know. It was weird. I was thinking like, hey, wait a minute. That dream was more complicated than I thought. All right, TJ, thanks very much for hanging out with us. It was nice to talk to you for a while. I hope you can join us on a future stream. I wasn't watching Van Helsing. I have no idea where that dream came from. Yeah, TJ, thanks for hanging out. It was nice. I appreciate the follow. I appreciate the help with Neverwinter Nights, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. I don't know. I was just thinking like, oh, that'd be kind of a cool story. Werewolf, vampire hunter. Which, yeah, Van Helsing kind of sort of already did that. Man, Van Helsing sucked so bad. I saw that movie in theaters. I wasn't expecting a lot from it, but it disappointed me. It was so bad. I remember the dude who plays... can't think of the actor's name. I'll never think of it. But the dude who plays Faramir in Lord of the Rings, and also plays the one-eyed guy in 300. He plays a monk named Carl, like a 19th century or 18th century monk, and he's named Carl. It was so weird. It'd be like, I don't know, it'd be like if you were like in a story about like, ancient China and there was a dude named Frank or something. It's like, what? Why was his name Carl? So bad. I saw it with a friend of mine and we both just we weren't like high or anything, but we were just kind of like, this is terrible. Tom Hardy's your twin, eh, Revamp? The talented twin, huh? Why did you settle here, Aldian? Necessity! The rope bridges led us across the old walls. With them, it didn't matter what trade rights we had. We'd be at a crossroads to the northern tiers, an unbeatable location. The siege of Ardent and the Bastard City ended up helping us. All those folks heading to points east crossed through our little settlement. Many of them decided to stake a claim with us, but by then, Lithian discovered there was iron in our rivers. She thought it'd make us rich, but it also made us a target. The old walls don't make passage through the area easy, and our bridges cut days to weeks off of a trip. Lithian's Crossing is the best bet to get your shipment where it needs to go. Mix a motherload of iron ore into it, and we suddenly had a target painted on us. What's Kairos' interest in the car? I mean, this goes without saying. If it's a trade route, I think it's there's no need to explain, but sure. Okay, I'll ask this. Iron, plain... Oh, alright, the iron. Now we have the forge bound here, toiling away with the ore they pull from the river. We're being squeezed for our resources. If you're after a drink, better to squeeze fruit than a stone. It would seem many people find us to be very juicy indeed. Especially in the mistress's quarters. There was a merchant who tried to peddle iron rocks as magical because they came from areas near the old walls. Really? How did they describe these magic rocks? Did they keep tigers away? I'd like to purchase your rock. One of the people he sold to happened to be a disfavored courier. The courier then showed the rock to a forge-bound master who immediately recognized its potential for making superior weapons. It was brought to Kairos' attention, and soon afterwards soldiers and forge-bound came to Lithian's Crossing. They came with such force our options were either to comply with what they wanted or die. Why does the Brotherhood want Lithian's Crossing? Land? Breeding stock? They've been here longer than I have, so maybe they consider it home too, but Kairos' purse masters are no longer paying them to fight. If a mercenary is killing for free, something's suspect. In the end, I suppose it doesn't matter. Redamon will never let go. He feels he owns this town, and he aims to have it be his. My gosh, that was just one of these options. Ugh, alright, the Spire? There's no getting used to it. You'd think that after years of living under its shadow that your nerves would calm, but that never happened for me. You can only be so relaxed when your neighbors are the bane. The moment you let your guard down around one of those old walls, my friend, you're done. Now, Lithian wasn't completely mad to settle here. She ventured inside and found sealed passageways that made it impossible to wander too far beyond the entrance. She figured that meant the bane couldn't easily reach us either. Whoever created this monstrosity wanted us to stay out, and that's exactly what we've done. Hasn't been a perfect arrangement. There have been incidents. He grimaces at the recollection. But for the most part, the Bane don't venture out so long as you don't venture in. We just have to stay vigilant every day. May I go in? Must you enter? Surely there's another... He stops himself, adopting a less confrontational tone. Nobody will stop you, Fatebinder, if that's what you mean. If you have business inside, I can only assume that it must be an important matter. The old walls are unpredictable, plain and simple. The Bane may leave you be today, but I'm not the sort to gamble when it comes to those abominations. Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood. They've got nothing else to do. They were here since the crossing was founded. Lithian herself hired them to protect the settlement when it was just getting started, a fledgling town in the shadow of the old walls. They did such a good job, she kept them on as our peacekeepers, and that's how things went. At least until you decided to oust them and put someone else in their place. That's right. Disfavored, yeah. Can't say I wouldn't have done the same, truth be told. Taking pay from two employers is always going to end badly, if you can't make both of them happy. On top of that, it seems lately that Radamon is traveling a path no one can see. I don't want to see what's at the end of it. What? Traveling a path no one can see. Metaphorically, we mean? Disfavored? Strict curfews, frequent searches, and no forgiveness for missed iron and grain quotas. That's the ill of it. But the sentries keep constant vigil and train us with respect. Politeness, even. Most of them call me elder and bow. If someone's going fishing in your pocket and taking your crops, may as well be kind about it. Barrick apparently throws in, the disfavored are committed to honor and dignity in all dealings. What a Boy Scout. Lemo. That's so, says Vers. I've seen the disfavored impale a man for insulting your precious graven ash. I've seen them hang prisoners for eating rats when their food ran low. At least the Scarlet Chorus doesn't have any delusion about cruelty. We do it because it's fun. Barrick continues. Honor goes both ways, you balding witch. Hey, easy. Vers is my favorite character in this game so far. Those who flaunt the offerings of Kairos' peace find no solace in the Legion. Siren says, defending the honor of Kairos' forces when all they do is cut a swath of destruction through the land, leaving misery wherever they travel. You both should be ashamed of yourselves. Good night, Revamp. Thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. Hope we can hang out again next week. Get some good sleep, man. Okay, apparently now this is an argument between my party here. Eldian's just like, should I go? Maybe the Archon of Ugly Helmets should keep her nose out of my business. Don't pretend you know anything, little girl. Come back to me once you've spent a few years spilling blood with the rank. Wow! Talking to an Archon that way? Holy shit. I love Vers. She's awesome. Siren says, thanks for the life advice, but I'll pass. I have plenty of blood on my hands, and every day the chorus is allowed to spread its disease, my actions while I was Nerat's captive will haunt me. Ah. I was thinking she worked for the Scarlet Chorus, but she was a captive. Okay. So watch your tongue, you psychotic hag. Eldian looks around, his eyes wide with shock. Perhaps we should continue this conversation. Look at his hands. Continue this conversation later. He puts up his hand as if to calm everyone in the room. Clearly there is some tension here that needs to be resolved. Lathian's mistress offers counseling as well as prostitution. Barrick says, excuse my compatriots. Some of them are lacking in northern refinement, and others have no excuse. You are praising the disfavored. Go on. He gestures to Eldian. Yes, he's a perceptive one, is Eldian. He says, it's definitely not the situation I would have chosen, but things can always be worse. The water might be up to your knees, but it could also be up to your nose, is what my grandmother would tell me. Okay, Forgebound. Let's ask about the Forgebound because of Barrick. They toil away in their forge houses, day in, night out. Kairos' forces keep them well guarded since they know how to work binding ore into weapons, harder than stone or bronze. I've delivered food and kindling to the forge houses, but never had much contact with the artisan mages. Earthshakers? Few have passed through the crossing in recent times, all headed south to the Stone Sea. I guess he's pointing south? I don't know. It's a weird time to point. At least that's the word of it. The mages didn't stay for long. He gestures to them. Oh, wait, he's pointing at the stone facade of the old walls. And I'm glad they kept on traveling. If some madman cast a spell that cracked the foundation of the old walls, praise Kairos it hasn't happened. Oh. Perhaps some foreshadowing about what I'm going to do? He'll be pissed at me when I do something with the spire that breaks down the old walls. Something else? How have your interactions with the Scarlet Chorus been, Eldian? Can't say that I have a strong opinion one way or the other, really. They didn't seem to care much about leaving the settlement behind. Once the decision was made to let the disfavored have control, they left, and I haven't seen much of them since. Directions? He laughs and puts a hand on your shoulder. Get the hell off of me, man. I completely understand. The crossing can be bit intimidating the first time someone arrives, but it's not as complicated as it looks. The river is named Portuscor, and it flows down the middle of the settlement. The waterfalls pouring over the old walls are Sunrise and Moonrise. The west waterfall is Sunrise because of how the sun hits it in the morning, and Moonrise got its name due to how it glows during a full moon. The crossing itself is broken up into districts, named after the waterfalls. The west side of the river is the Sunrise District. The east side of the river is the Moonrise District. That's fucking confusing. You found the west side of town and named it Sunrise. Good thing I'm evil already. Yeah, you're right. I don't give a shit if I break down the old walls. You're right. The different levels of Lethian's Crossing don't really have names, but most people refer to them as the tiers. My home is considered part of the ground tier. The forge is on the first tier, both in the Moonrise district. I have other questions. This reminds me of like when you're in Oblivion and you go into like Skingrad and you ask a guard, like, he's like, "What are you looking for?" And you're like, an inn. And he's like, "Oh, inns." And then he starts telling you these places and you have no context for what the fuck he's saying. It just means nothing to you. He's like, "You can find such and such just north of the west gate. This is just south of the west gate. And this is over by the east gate. And if you want this, you have to go south from the east gate and then west." And you're like, I'm not going to retain any of this, man. I have other questions? I do? Jesus, what else could I ask about? Let's be on our way, I guess. Phew. That was a marathon right there. I'm going to raid your house, old man. Suck on that. See you. Okay. Forgive me for a second, you guys. I feel like I need to blow my nose. I've been dealing with allergies all damn day, and I don't normally have allergies, but one moment. Sorry, I'm gonna scooch out. I'm scooching out of the camera. Ugh. I don't know if that's gonna help or not, but I tried. There is an elephant. Yeah, it's the same elephant that you hear walking above my head sometimes. Jesus Christ. Oh, Earthshaker. Please leave me be. Alright, we know when we're not wanted. We can take a hint. Come, everyone, who actually is really annoying to everybody that we ever meet. All bridges and ramps in Lethian's Crossing can be raised. Okay. So then what's this place? Did I already search this? And if, oh, camping supplies, right. Who's this? Biotis. Welcome, friend. Merchant cries out to you, his belt jingling with rings. He waves his arms about in a dramatic presentation of his wares. I think I already talked to this guy, but this looks like it's new. What brings you to my humble trading post? Have a certain something in mind or just browsing? Just browsing. Forge-bound stuff, huh? I already know that one. I don't know that one. Okay. Destroy my property and you'll pay for it. Fatebinder, says Christina, whose affiliation is Forgebound. Oh, good. Okay, we got to get in with the Forgebound to help Barrick. Fatebinder, a moment of your time. A travesty of the highest order has been leveled upon me, and I beseech you to rectify this atrocity. My God. You speak of high crimes, Christina. Vetus, the disfavored soldier, scoffs. Travesty? Beseech? Atrocity? What's with the sudden rise in station, Christina? Are we trying to impress the Fatebinder? You're a glorified slave. He punctuates every sentence by counting them off his fingers. You haul iron, you stoke the fires in the forge, you clean up after the real Forgebound. No one cares about you, so don't bother the Fatebinder with your meaningless problems. Christina says, like you're any better. A mere soldier with no authority and no control. You do what you're told, and that's all you can do. You're as much a slave as I am, but at least I am able to leave it if I want. My slavery leads to enormous power. My problems aren't meaningless. Anyone can ask the Fatebinder to adjudicate their problems. You're just afraid you're going to be found at fault. What's the problem here? Vitus gives Christina an I told you so look. She's just upset because now she's going to have to do actual work. I saved the people of this town. Christina elbows Vitus, and steps forward to speak. She levels an accusing finger at Vitus. Is she pointing? She's not pointing. Ah, what a shame. That was a perfect time to point. He killed out of the way. She was the best hauler we had and was properly broken in. Finally. Oh, was this a beast person? Oh, that's kind of mean. She did what she was told, and she was the strongest beast I've ever seen. That animal was dangerous, says Vetus. If I hadn't done what I did, who knows what would have happened. Out of the way? My beast man, says Christina. Don't you know how long it takes to train a beastman? I know her name is a little unusual, but she was slower than the typical beast, and training took a little longer than it usually does, and she got in the way a lot. Say it enough, and it just kind of becomes a name, she shrugs. Okay. People haven't liked this before. If I agree to adjudicate, you must both agree to by my decision. Of course. I have been wronged, and I will have justice. Your decision is law, Fatebinder. I will treat it as such. Tell me what happened to Out of the Way, Christina. Out of the Way and I were taking a load of iron from the storehouse to the forge. When I forgot the manifest from the housemaster, so I told Out of the Way to wait for me while I went back to get it. When I came back out, there was shouting, and I knew something was wrong. I ran back to where I'd left Out of the Way, and I could hear someone taunting her, calling her a mindless animal and other terrible things. Then I heard shouting and screaming. When I rounded the corner, Vetus was running her through. She gives Vetus a sour look and spits at him. Vetus laughs. Really, Christina? You don't think you're leaving a little out of the story? All right, Vetus, your side. She gives Vetus a sour look and spits at him. Vetus laughs. Really, Christina? Oh, wait. I thought I just asked this. Okay, fine. Vetus shoots Cressina a look. Gladly, and I'll make sure you get the whole story. Cressina opens her mouth, but Vetus holds up a hand and smiles. My turn! Now, I'm not denying what Cressina said, but she left off a critical piece of information. I was making my usual rounds, ensuring, like all dedicated disfavored do, that piece is kept under my eye. I had just finished a pass and was about to head back to the hall when I heard a commotion. Shouting, growling, something falling over, and then screaming. When everyone came into view, I saw Out of the Way standing over someone with her claws raised and the rest of the onlookers cowering away from her. I shouted at her to stop, and she turned to look at me with an insane look in her eyes. She turned back and went to swing, so I rushed her and did what I had to do. I put down a crazed animal who was a danger to everyone in town. I feel no remorse for the action. I do not deny doing it, and I would do it again if it meant keeping Lethian's crossing safe. Jesus. What the fuck? This is fucked up. So this is basically like cop kills some poor minority, except in this case the minority is a beast person? That's a little... I don't know if I agree with that political analogy there. You say Out of the Way was provoked? Yes! People of Lethian's Crossing can be ruthless. Yes, she's just an animal, but she wasn't their property. How do you know she was provoked? Vetus laughs. Oh, she's got you there, Cressina. Let's see how you try to talk your way out of this one. Cressina says, I already told you that I heard people calling her a mindless animal and other horrible epithets. I didn't need to see the action to know what was happening. Okay, sure, we can take that at its word. Vetus says, sorry, Cressina, but that's just not good enough. She could have been already attacking someone, and that's what prompted their yelling. Plus, she's a filthy beast. Well, was. Sorry. He smiles. It's not like anything they said was untrue. The truth of their statements is irrelevant to what happened, says Cressina. You didn't see it either, genius. You don't know what happened any more than I do. She stops and turns red, and Vetus laughs again. That doesn't change the fact that you killed my beast man. That's what we're discussing here. I never denied it, said Vetus. Let me state again. For the record, I killed Out of the Way. I did it to protect the people of Lethian's Crossing. I am not sorry. I would do it again, and I shouldn't be punished for doing my duty. End of story. If a townsperson was attacked, why aren't they here to present their testimony? Ah! Cressina drops her head and looks to the side. Well, Vetus laughs. Vetus says, not as eager to tell the gory details, are you? He shakes his head. There isn't a townsperson. At least, not anymore. I wasn't fast enough to respond to the disturbance. Out of the Way had already killed and gutted him by the time I arrived. Of course, I didn't know he was already dead when I ran her through, but that wouldn't have changed anything. She was crazed, and I did what I could to stop her from hurting anyone else. Christina says, I could have stopped her. She always listened to me, most of the time. Christina pushes Vitas. You killed my best beast of burden. It's going to take forever to train another one. You're going to pay for time and wages lost because of it. Yeah, this is a little fucked up. I'm wondering if we're supposed to treat the Beastmen as people, or if we're supposed to treat the Beastmen as beasts. Because if this is like replace this with a dog, right? Like, oh, somebody was taunting my dog, and my dog attacked them. It's like, well, it doesn't fucking matter if they were taunting your dog or not. Your dog attacked somebody and probably needs to be put down now. That's the sad thing, but that's the truth. Or if it was somebody was taunting my neighbor and my neighbor attacked somebody, it's like, well, whoa, wait a minute. What were they, like, were they threatening your neighbor? Was your neighbor acting in self-defense? Is this a person or is it a beast? It's a beast man. There's no analogy. How in control of their own actions are they? That's the question. Here she's saying, like, I could have stopped her, she always listened to me, which means that the beast person presumably has very little self-control, right? Needs someone to order it. This is kind of gross, but okay. What are you looking for as recompense? Like I said before, I want his rings. He's going to pay for everything I'm missing out on because he can't control himself. I want payment for time and wages lost because my deliveries will take longer and all the work I will lose training a new beast man. If I decide in your favor, Vitas, what do you want? Nothing. Well, I want her to go away and leave me alone. I was just doing my job. This can't end fast enough. Tyranny, achievement unlocked, says Galaxy. I am the law! I think that I must have like adjudicated some minimum number of cases to get that achievement. So in the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd, right? He says the line like, "I am the law." He says it like that, which I don't know, just always sounded hokey to me. But then in the Alex Garland, fuck, I can't think of his goddamn name. The actor. Australian actor who plays Judge Dredd in the Judge Dredd movie. Carl Urban. Thank you, Jeza. Thank you. Okay, so wait. Walter, I think you're thinking of Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider was in the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd movie, I think. But in the Carl Urban movie, so Stallone says it all hammy, like, I am the law. He says it with his lip, right? I am the law. Says it all like that. And then in the Carl Urban movie, he's like, I am the law. Like he's so fucking angry, and you can just hear it in his voice. And he doesn't put any extra emphasis on the line at all. He's just saying it like, this is a matter of fact, and you have to fucking deal with it. I really like the Carl Urban Judge Dredd movie. It's, I wouldn't say top 10, but it's in my top 20 movies, probably, that I like to watch. It's really good. Lena Headey's really good. The young woman who plays the rookie cop, Olivia Newton, maybe? Olivia Newton. No, Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Thirlby? It's Olivia something. But she's very good too. It's got the dude who played fucking the main drug dude in The Wire. Barksdale. Avon Barksdale. Yeah, it kicks ass. And it's got a little bit of a conscience about it. Like it's it very clearly recognizes that the world of Judge Dredd is just a fascist fucking wasteland. And you have some sympathy for the people who Judge Dredd just fucking wastes. You're like, oh man, like, I don't know, given the circumstances, would I be doing that? I might be doing something like that. Like, life sucks for these people. It's good. It's good. It's a awesome badass action movie with a little bit of a conscience. The only thing that I thought like, that was stupid, was when the, spoiler alert, when the other judge, the mercenary judge, comes in to kill Judge Dredd, and Dredd's like hit and he's down. He's like, wait. And the other judge like is like, wait, is that the best you can do? And then somebody walks out from behind a column, and the lady, the young cop, walks out and shoots him. It's like, come on. Villain's disposition is just a little overdone, but whatever, it's fine. I shouldn't let it ruin a great movie. It's a really good movie. Speaking of, I don't know if anybody's seen Blade Runner 2049. 2049 is awesome. I actually like it better than the original Blade Runner, and I like the original Blade Runner a lot. Okay, anyway, I've made my judgment here. So the director who did Blade Runner 2049, Jesus knows what I'm talking about, is, what's his name? French guy. I'm not going to think of it. He also did Arrival, which was very good. He did Sicario, which I didn't care for that much, but I could see why people liked it. And he's directing Dune, the Dune adaptation that's supposed to be due out later this year, with Timothée Chalamet and Javier Bardem and Denis Villeneuve. Thank you, Walter. Fucking Oscar Isaac plays Duke Leto. That's That's wonderful casting. When I saw the casting list for that movie, I was like, holy shit, this is great. You guys might remember, but Dune is my favorite book series. The first 6 Dune books that Frank Herbert wrote, my favorite book series of all time. And I love the David Lynch version. Patrick Stewart and Kyle MacLachlan and Jürgen Prochnow. But I'm really looking forward to this updated version coming out. I think it's going to be really good. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. Rebecca Ferguson, I think, is Lady Jessica. Oscar Isaac and Ryan Gosling are really good actors. Yep. Drive was good. I really like Drive. Oscar Isaac, I am jealous of the way that you're jealous of like just that one kid in your school who's just good at fucking everything. You're like, you son of a bitch. Like, Oscar Isaac is handsome. He's a fantastic actor. He can sing. If you've seen Inside Llewyn Davis, he's so good in that movie. You're like, you bastard. How dare you be good at all those things, you talented fucker. I love it. I like him. I don't resent him for it, but there are times where it's like, oh man, how can you be so good at everything that you do? And also good looking. Like, Brad Pitt's like that too, where I used to just kind of hate Brad Pitt because I thought like, oh, he's just a handsome face. Like, he's not a good actor. But then you see him in some movies, you're like, damn, he was really good in that movie. It's like, shit. Okay. I can't just be like, oh, he's just a pretty face who sucks at everything else. Like, no, he's actually good at what he does. And he's really handsome. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs was good if you don't expect it to be, a full narrative film, which it's not. It's just a collection of stories. But I really enjoyed it. There were some stories I enjoyed more than others. I really liked the last one. I didn't care for the one that Tim Blake Nelson is in, the very first one, which kind of sucked because I liked Tim Blake Nelson in O Brother Where Art Thou, so I thought for sure I'd like him in Buster Scruggs, but his story just didn't do anything for me. Tom Waits' story was good, and the one about the young lady who gets spooked by the Indians was heartbreaking. I'm trying to remember what other stories there were. There was the one with the dude who had no arms and legs. Yeah, it's just kind of like Four Rooms was like that, right? The Quentin Tarantino movie that was basically just four different segments that were directed by different people. Robert Rodriguez, Tarantino, and I forget who directed the other two, but Four Rooms was fun. I don't know. I liked it. I liked Tim Roth, so even though the movie wasn't that great, I still enjoyed it because he's just such a he's so crazy. I have not seen that one, Walter. Oh gosh, I forgot what we were doing in the game. Holy crap, we got so distracted by Coen Brothers movies and how freaking talented Oscar Isaac is. That bastard. Anyway, Dune's gonna kick ass. I have not been this excited to see a movie in theaters since, I don't know, not even The Force Awakens. Like maybe like going back to the original Avengers movie, probably. Different district that makes up Paris. Do you have to know anything about Paris to be able to enjoy it? Because I know nothing about Paris. All right, I gotta focus because we're never gonna get out of Lethian's Crossing at this rate. Walter liked it. The first Hobbit movie. Yeah, you know what? I was never excited for the Hobbit movies. I love the Lord of the Rings movies, and I was looking forward to the Hobbit movies when I heard that Guillermo del Toro was attached to direct, and then when he dropped out, I was like, all right, there goes that dream. And then it was like, oh, all right, Peter Jackson's gonna do it. Okay, fine. Oh, he's gonna make it 2 movies. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Oh, he's gonna make it 3 movies. Oh, this is gonna be bad. That's when when he said that he was gonna turn it into 3 movies. I was like, yeah, there's no way this is gonna be good. Because The Hobbit is like maybe a 2-hour movie, right? So maybe you could pad it out to 3 hours and make it 2 90-minute features. But 3 movies that are going to be at least 90 minutes, probably closer to 2 hours each, like, that's never going to be good. It's never going to work. The Hobbit is not the Lord of the Rings. It doesn't need a goddamn trio. Yep, exactly right, Tandem. That's when I knew. So, in the full disclosure, I have never seen any of the Hobbit movies, specifically because I've heard that they're not good, and I don't care to see them. I don't know. I probably should, but I just don't want to subject myself. It's just too goddamn long, you know? Like, if you're going to watch a 90-minute movie or a 2-hour movie and you're like, this could suck, it's like, yeah, what the hell? 2 hours? Yeah, I'll watch it. It might suck, but sure. What if it's decent? But if it's like 4 hours or 6 hours, you're like, fuck. I don't want to commit that much time if the thing is very, very likely to suck. Like, it's just not worth it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jayza, the book is a children's book. Like, way more, like, The Lord of the Rings is, like, more, I'm not going to say adult, but it's ideal for, like, 15 to 18 years old, I'd say. Whereas The Hobbit is ideal for, like, 8 to 12. But that being said, there's so much less content in The Hobbit to adapt into a movie. You'd be hard-pressed to make The Hobbit into 1 movie, but you could definitely make it into 2. 3 is like, yeah, no. You're inventing some bullshit or you're padding shit out or something. I don't know how you'd make it into three movies. Because every movie... This is getting so far off on a tangent, but you guys know me already. You know that I do this. Every movie in a trilogy has to be a story, right? So it has to have the elements of a story. It has to have exposition. It has to have the narrative hook. It has to have the climbing action. It has to have the climax. It has to have the resolution, right? Stories don't work over 3 fucking movies if you don't have that within each individual movie. So like Fellowship of the Rings has that, right? There's a climax, a very clear climax and resolution, although it's kind of left like, so that wasn't exactly a happy ending. They reworked the way that the Two Towers works so that you have a climax and a resolution, and then they set up the Return of the King so that it had the same thing. But the Hobbit doesn't have, the book doesn't have three separate climaxes. There's not that much going on. There's trolls, Gollum, Smaug. That's it. There's no other like rising actions in that book. There's nothing else that ups the stakes, you know? So I just don't know how you could turn it into a movie. 3 movies. You can make it one movie where you end with either you end after Bilbo escapes from the mountain after getting the ring, or you end it when he's fighting the spiders or something like that. The spiders is like the climactic battle. I don't know. And then the second movie is all Smaug. Dane comes out of the Iron Hills, resolve it, it's done. 2 movies, sure, fine, whatever. But 3, it's like, how the fuck are you going to make that into 3 movies? You're going to have a lot of songs. You're going to make it into 3 movies. The dwarves cleaning up Bilbo's kitchen is going to have to be like a 15-minute sequence, which nobody's going to want to sit through, you know? There's so many songs that in the book, when you read the book the second time, you never read through the songs, right? You just you skip the songs. But yeah, if you're making the 3 movies out of the book, there's going to be a lot of goddamn songs. They forced Orlando Bloom in. Yeah. I mean, I have some respect for Peter Jackson because from what I understand of behind the scenes stuff, he was basically like, New Zealand's film industry depends on this project. So my understanding is that he was less like, I'm going to make as much money as I can. It was more so like, how do I keep these people employed for as long as possible? Because once this is over, there go their livelihoods. So that I get. Like, I don't blame him for stretching it into 3 movies. I just don't know that anybody could make The Hobbit into 3 movies and make it a coherent thing. I wonder if you couldn't have an editor go through and take all the footage that was filmed for that movie and make it into like 1 3-hour movie or like 2 2-hour movies. I bet you could make a pretty good movie out of it. I don't know. You can't. Yeah, I don't think you can. But I don't blame him. I don't blame him for trying to keep his people employed. There's a huge portion of the New Zealand economy that depends upon movie making now. As a result of Peter Jackson creating The Lord of the Rings in New Zealand, and I understand if he felt some responsibility to keep those people employed. I don't blame him for that. I hope that it didn't destroy him, you know, from like a soul perspective. I hope that he's still a happy adult. I don't know. He's got lots of money, so I'm sure that helps. All right. Okay. So we can ask Christina for a bribe. We can ask Vitas for a bribe. I don't think we need to, though. Again, this comes back to, are the Beastmen beasts or are the Beastmen men? Which way do they lean more? Oh, the Living Engines movie. You know what? When I saw the trailer for that, I thought, wow, that looks like an interesting idea, but the trailer didn't look good. I thought, neat idea. I don't know that I want to see that movie, and I never watched it. What was it called? It wasn't called Living Engine. It was called Mortal Engines? Mortal Engines, I think. I would like to see that movie. I just don't, because I thought the idea was neat. I just don't know that movie itself is the version of it that I want to see. But I should watch it. I should give it a try. It just gave me like very Mad Max Fury Road vibes, but not as good. That's what I got from the trailer. It was like, holy shit, these giant machines driving around and people running from them, but not as cool as Mad Max. Again, with this thing, it's like, was it a dog? Because if a dog goes mad, you put the dog down. Or was it a person? In which case, If a person's provoked, there's some understanding into why they would respond the way that they did. You can talk them down, and they can calm down, and they can go back to being a regular person and not have to kill them, right? Mad dog, you kill. Mad person, you try to calm down. So I'm torn between 3 and 4. You know what I'm going to do? Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. I'm just going to roll this one. Fuck it. I don't know what to decide. So if I roll even, I choose 4. If I roll odd, I choose 3. This is the 6-sided die, so let's see. 5. So we choose 3. Christina gets my favor in this matter. Out of the way might have been dangerous, but Vetus acted rashly. Christina smiles and pokes Vetus in the shoulder. I told you I would make you pay for what you did, and I was right. Justice is served today. Vetus says, if you want to get technical, Christina, it was the Fatebinder that made me pay, not you. And I suggest you watch yourself. I am the law in this town. That's what set us off on the whole movie tangent. It was the I am the law line. Be careful where you poke that finger. We will discuss my payment when I am done with my patrols. He salutes. Good day to you, Fatebinder. Alright, well, Vetus seemed cool with that. And they're gone forever. Okay, so we've been in Eldian's house. We've been in Siren's Sanctuary. We have not been in the Forge. Okay, the Forge, right here. Here we go. Gosh. A whole stream spent just exploring Lithian's Crossing. Hi! Hello? Hi. Who are you? Apprentice. Master Smith. Ooh. Lohara. Apprentice. Ulantis. Yeah, I know, just half. Okay, let's talk. Wait, who's this dude? Okay, let's talk to this dude first. 5 streams of exploring. Oh my god. Lohara, Master of Tempering. A muscular woman stands upright from her forge and turns to look at you, the light of the fire playing across her face, making her eyes dance dangerously. A toothy smile breaks across her mouth, the only bright spot on her soot-stained face. Do you kill with your left hand or your right? She rubs blackened palms together, eyeing you expectantly. Normally I can tell at a glance, but you're a little harder to read. I'm looking at myself here, right? Violin the 4th. She keeps the javelin over her right shoulder. I have to think she kills right-handed. I don't remember being able to choose handedness when I created the character. I don't know if that was an option, but right. Noted. She clears her throat and wipes her blackened hands on the canvas of her smock. I am Lahara, Master of Tempering, and Forge Master of Lithian... I'm trying to pronounce it both ways each time I read it. Lithian's Crossing. My tasks exceed the hours left in the day, but there is no harm in pausing my work if it means speaking with the Fatebinder. Alright, continue while I take a drink here. And thank you for separating the Brotherhood from Kairos' armies. The Bronze Brotherhood and Kairos' forces vied for space in the barracks of Lithian's Crossing. You separated the Iron Legion from the Mercenary Army. Blah, 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 blah. Pleased the disfavored. Upheld your standards. Pissed off the Brotherhood. Got it. We all know the Brotherhood would have been a negative influence on the citizens of this settlement. The less trouble we have to deal with, the more work we can do. How may I be of assistance? Let's talk about Barrack. That's the first reason we're here. What about him, she says.
Why did you bring us here, Fatebinder?
What? You know why? They tune on something about we need people outside of Kairos' empire to help us, and the Forgebound can help us. What the fuck, man? Relax.
I seem to recall asking you quite clearly to leave this be.
Shut up. A low growl issues from within Barrick's domed helm. I hoped you would examine Barrick. I know, yeah, you're right. Yeah. She must really... She likes to stand close to the fire. I'm just going to say that as many times as I can. Lohara, master... Of course, her chest meat is particularly vulnerable, which probably wouldn't be very pleasant. Lohara, master of tempering, says, did the adjudicator not issue an injunction against precisely that action? Indeed, he sent the decision by bird to each of the guild. What? Wow! So not only did Tunon say, I don't want you trying to fix Barrick's armor, but he then sent a bird messenger to every possible smith in the region and said, don't fucking fix Barrick's armor. What a dick. If you merely look him over, that's not exactly the against the adjudicator's decree. That was his decision. Now I'm deciding otherwise. That's a power move right there. As Fatebinder, I speak with the Archon's voice. Diplomat, I have the utmost respect for the work of your guild and would do nothing to jeopardize its standing with the Overlord. Yet you must admit Barrick's armor a magical marvel. Surely an examination wouldn't run afoul of the law. Yeah, there we go. You forge words like a courtier, and I have little doubt that you could twist any argument to your advantage were we pressed to answer for a crime. Allow me to state this in no uncertain terms, Fatebinder. The Forge-bound swore our allegiance to Tunon the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. We do not easily forget that oath, nor do we rush to circumvent it. Our fastidiousness is not limited to our craft. Barrick says, loyalty to an oath looks like this, Fatebinder, in case you had forgotten. I don't suppose you know any skilled smiths who lack your ironclad sense of loyalty? How many rings to commission this forge? Let's throw a little shade. I think what this is saying is, if I can't get it from you, I'm going to go to somebody who will, so you might as well help me. That's what I think this is saying. 8 subterfuge skill and experience. Behind the obscurity of his helm, you can hear Barrick grinding his teeth. Lohara says, you ask me to be an accomplice to your crime? Secluded Forge is now unlocked on the world map. There may be an individual who can help you. Rumor has it that there's a mage smith of some manner in the Stone Sea. By all rights, she should have been killed, so I assume that she's worked out a deal with that glowing green bastard Narat. I cannot provide you with a name, but you might ask around Plainsgate if you have the misfortune of being in that area. Lohara, your help is appreciated. Goodbye, Fatebinder. As far as I'm concerned, this conversation never occurred. Okay, let's go talk to the other dude who was named. Ulantis. Ulantis surveys the room with an air of superiority. He addresses you without making eye contact. Is there something you want? Forge-bound supply cache. Ulantis catches the stare of Lohara, who beams at him, expecting something to occur. Ulantis sighs dejectedly before turning his attention back to you with a strained smile. Forgive me, Fatebinder. Lohara instructed me to reward you for your aid during the conquest. The conscripted beastmen helped us forge countless iron materials, and in return I am to show you the location of a supply cache. What? Needed to increase, and as the governor, the decision of how to handle it fell to you. You allowed the Scarlet Chorus to conscript beastmen to the task of hauling iron ore. Ah, okay. So I'm the one who enslaved the poor beastmen. Ulantis takes your map in his hands, circles a small clearing in Haven. Is there a problem? His eyes carefully watch Lohara as he answers you. Yes, but these are forge-bound matters. Nothing that concerns the High Court of Tunon, I can assure you. What do you do here? I keep things running smoothly. Upkeep, mostly. He smiles coyly. I am also second in command to Lohara, so in case anything ever happens to her, I'm here to take charge. So long! Oh my god, look at all this stuff. Apparently I can just help myself. Plans. Headhunter. These plans detail how to forge the mythical blade known as Headhunter. This item can be created with access to a Spire Forge upgrade and proper materials. Ooh.
Nothing I can't handle.
Forge-bound hammer. Okay. These worn iron weapons look as if they have been recently repaired and are being ready to be shipped back out. Rot spear. Chalcedony. Wait, did I take the Chalcedony? I didn't. This armor is newly made to the forge by the forge bound. It is still warm to the touch. It's hot. Don't touch it. Fair enough. Okay. I think the only other location we have left to try here in Lithian's Crossing is... Yes. Such long loading screens. I don't get it. Is... Pretty sure it's just the old walls entrance. We've been in Siren's, we've been in Eldian's house, we've been in the Forge, we've been in Lithian's Mistress. So, what we'll do is march this way. Step inside the old walls. And then we'll have to go to another stream. We'll have to wait till next week to find out what the hell's in here besides the Bane, which we have already had described to us. Ooh, I can't wait to check it out. All right. Hey, gang, thanks very much for hanging out with me this evening. It is about 10 minutes after the top of the hour, so we're going to wrap it up. But it's been tons of fun. We killed Clouth. Damn it, that was wonderful. And we explored all of Lithian's Crossing. I feel like this game, Tyranny, is, according to the websites that I've read about it, it's only like 20 to 25 hours to beat it, but this is going to take me a long time, I feel like. I don't know if it's because I'm reading everything verbally, or if my exploration style is slow, or what, but it's going to take way longer than 25 hours. Absolutely, Tanim. It was tons of fun. Thanks very much for hanging out. Walter, thanks for hanging out. Jeza, if you're still around, thanks for hanging out. Let me see who else is even here. 2155, if you're around, thank you. Gator might be here too. So yeah, have a good... Oh, there's 2155. Yeah, cool. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. I appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody, and I will hope to see you next week.